leaving the mooring field in St. Augustine, getting ready to go through the drawbridge. We've already radioed them, going in through at the 7 a.m. opening. Hi, I'm Cookie, and this is my husband, Jay. We go on sailing adventures and hope you'll join us as we sail with our 4 pets we call the tail crew: Andy, Scout, Oscar, and Cheddar. Come along and enjoy some fun. It's been an early morning for us here in St. Augustine. We were up around 6:30, getting the boat ready to head out of St. Augustine. We are making the 7 a.m. exit out of the drawbridge. We are the only boat heading out, and we are headed to Cumberland Island National Seashore. It's about 53 miles away. And as we're going through the drawbridge, just so you know, there are a lot of rules when you go through bridges. At least we don't have to worry about the height on this one, but we do have to radio ahead and get in line. Today we are the only ones going through the bridge, and we are up so early because it was the outgoing tide, and it is much easier to exit and go through the drawbridge with the tide going in your direction, so you're not fighting that current. So, and as we watch the drawbridge close, we are getting ready to head out of the inlet and get out on the open ocean and get our sails up and head out. We've got 53 miles to go to Cumberland Island National Seashore. We've got our sails up, we've got a nice wind, and Scout is checking our work and keeping a lookout. I don't care how many times in my life I see dolphins. I will always be excited seeing dolphins. They are such amazing creatures, and Andy and Scout go absolutely nuts, but so do I. So we're all excited when we see the dolphins, and they're so much fun to watch.
Reef early, reef often.
This does not look fun. So we just got anchored, and we are anchored in St. Mary's River right across from Cumberland Island National Seashore. Cumberland Island, which is in Georgia. It's 54 miles north of Jacksonville and about 6 miles from St. Mary's, Georgia. Now, this is a National Seashore Island, so it's part of the National Park System. And Jay is going up the mast because the storm we just came through broke one of our lines on the lazy jack. So he is going up the pole in the bosun's chair to make some repairs. The storm, I didn't get it on camera because we were trying to reef our sail, our main sail. We got the front sail put in. We had to turn on our engines coming through the inlet. We got 40-mile-an-hour winds. It tore up our bimini a little bit, but it wasn't too rough. It was just some really high winds, and we were kind of afraid it would damage our sail, but no damage except for the lazy jack line. And so Jay hates heights, but he insisted that he do it, and he is basically trusting me with his life, hauling him up there on that winch. Now that we have the repairs made on the Lazy Jack and Jay is safely down from the mast, we are going to sit back, relax for the rest of the evening, enjoy the view of the island, have some dinner, and get ready for tomorrow. We are in the dinghy, headed over to the island, going to take the dogs for a walk and check out the park. We tied up our dinghy at the little dinghy dock, and we saw some manatees coming in, and we are headed over to that Ice House Museum to check it out. One of the first things you notice getting onto the island is the feral horses right here next to where we docked our dinghy. You're not supposed to feed them or pet them, but they just kind of hang out. They're used to people walking around. And next we are going into what they call the Ice House Museum. This little museum is what we can see from our boat, and is the where the light shines at night. We can see that little light, and this little museum just gives you a little bit of information about the island and the history of it. Tells you all about the animals that are here, including armadillos, the feral horses, sea turtles. There's manatees in the little inlet right there, and lots of different species of birds. So very informative, very cool. And now Scout and I are going to go check out the rest of the park. It is very hot and humid here today, but the shade of the trees and the Spanish moss is really a lot of fun, and there is so much here to see. So Scout and I are fixing to come up on the duck pond. Now, after seeing the little sign about the alligators, we did not stick around long. We decided to go in a different direction and head over to the ruins, because we do not want to see an alligator in person, because one, I don't run very fast, and two, I just prefer not to see an alligator. As Scout takes a little break here, we are coming up on the ruins. Now, this is the Dungeness Mansion that was built in 1884 by Thomas Carnegie and his wife Lucy. They occupied it until 1925, when they decided to move out, and it was basically abandoned, and in 1959 it burned down. And this is all that is left. Now, it was once a 59-room mansion with all those different fireplaces, and just by the looks of it, it must have been something else to see back in the day, because just by looking at the ruins, it looks like it was absolutely amazing. We saw this new foal right by the ruins, and she was absolutely adorable. We've been walking forever. I think I'm lost. I hope I'm on the route back to find Jay, but I never intended to walk this far. I have no idea how far I've walked, maybe 4 or 5 miles. Now I'm on this river trail. Beautiful trees, beautiful trail. I just have no idea where Jay is, because what I thought was going to be a 2 or 3 minute walk has turned probably now into 3 hours. Okay, so I had no cell service and no water bottle, and on an extra long hike, I obviously took a wrong turn. So I finally found the ranger station and figured out where I was on the map, made it back to Jay safely. Now, Scout is probably going to have trust issues on the next hike because he kept looking at me like, what the heck have you gotten us into? But we found our way back. The next morning we wake up, we have some pancakes, sausage, eggs, and some strawberries, and get ready to work on some boat chores. Today's boat project is wind turbine, putting it together and running some wires and working on installing and mounting the turbines. Now, I know this table looks like absolute chaos, and according to Jay, it is not. It is arranged according to his needs, and that is how his brain works. And after 31 years of marriage, I have come to accept the fact that I have to deal with a little bit of chaos, and that's fine, because after he's done, it will return to nice, neat, and orderly. So while he's working on that, let me just tell you why we are still here and working on a boat project. We aren't moving up the East Coast for hurricane season, and the weather changed. We were going to sail out today, but there are some storms rolling in, and we tend to err on the side of caution. With the weather, we prefer to wait until the wind is blowing in the right direction, and prefer to wait till we are not sailing through storms. The one we came through in the other day that tore up our bimini a little bit, and our lazy jack is not how we like to roll. 40-mile-an-hour winds coming into an inlet is not exactly what I call fun. So while he works on the installation a little bit more, I am going to work on getting dinner ready. Now, on the menu tonight is pizza on the grill, and we are each have our own little mini pizzas. Now, it doesn't get as brown and crisp on the top as I would normally like, but it does a pretty good job. We're saving the rest of the energy for the solar tonight for the air conditioner. It's a little hot and humid today, so we are looking forward to turning on those ACs once we go to bed. Another day, another walk in the park, and it is actually a beautiful day. A little hot and humid, but the park is absolutely gorgeous again today. We will not be going on an extra long hike today. I am staying on a trail nearby the dock and get these guys some fresh air and some land time before we go back and work on some more boat chores and wait on the weather. So we stopped to watch these manatees play in the little inlet here next to the dinghy dock, and we are going to head back to the boat yet again. And so stay tuned, because we have more coming up at Cumberland Island.